All right, how you all doing? What I don't like is when you don't show yourself on the screen. That is part of your attendance. Just give you a heads up. So if I don't see you, then you are not here. All right. So I see three people, and that's it. And you need to be in uniform. This is a class. I don't care what anybody else has told you. All right. So you guys need to take this seriously. This is a grade. If you don't, you're going to end up having to retake the class. I know that because I have somebody retaking it now. All right. So let's get into what we have. Give me a minute. I am not computer savvy, but I will get it worked out. All right. So what we're going to do today is we're going to go over some of the industry a little bit. I just got to find my darn PowerPoint. All right. Can you guys see my screen or no?
No,
Oh,
no.
all right. All right. So you can see this screen now, right? All right, good. See, I am
Yep.
getting better. All right. What I want to show you guys is this is a spreadsheet, and you guys are going to have to learn how to use these. So the first thing I'm going to go over with the spreadsheet is the yellow that I'm highlighting. That right now, that is a column. All right. So just so you guys know, we'll make the column blue. Then way we'll make that an off yellow, off orange. That is a row. So numbers on the side over here to the left, one through it's infinite, it just keeps going. Those are our rows. Up on top, A, B, C, D, all the way, it doubles up. Those are our columns. All right. Right here in the center, we'll make it deep red, brick red. That is a cell. So you have rows, columns, and cells. Now, it's very simple. if you can put anything you want in there, all right? And then you can also delete it. So this is a spreadsheet I use for our attendance. Now, say I'm going to use one for mathematical, reasons. Let's just, I'm just going to use this for, let's go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, okay? There's, those are going to be my days of the week. We'll keep those, we'll go into a different color. Use different colors for everything, confuse the heck out of you. So we're going to use different days of the week and just say we get a delivery over here. So I'm going to highlight. So if you click on the top where it says A and you highlight the whole column, then you right click and just click insert, you get a whole new column. And you can do that the same thing on the rows. So now when you have a column, you can click on the line and you can adjust it, its thickness to as thick as you want it. Right? It's pretty simple once you play with it. The best thing I can recommend is you play with these. And you don't just, if you want to know how to use them. Yes, they sell programs for you to utilize in the restaurants, but you need to know how to use it because you're going to be putting the information in there. So just say here, we're going to say Benny Keith, then produce, and say it comes in on Monday, and we're just going to say $750 there. Tuesday, 460. Friday, Wednesday, 250. Thursday, nothing. And then Friday, we're going to say, okay, it's the weekend, so we brought in $890 worth of product. So if you don't want to keep, going through paperwork, so you take those and you click the last one. And up here, you'll see auto sum. You'll click the auto sum. Now, if you guys need to know more, just ask. And I can do this one-on-one with you guys later if you want. But you click auto sum. It took me a while to learn this. This is why I'm saying that. And it highlights Monday through Friday automatically because I just put in numbers. I hit enter and it'll add all those up. So now we have the full week of what we spent. And you guys will be doing this with a lot of different numbers when you use spreadsheets. All right, so you'll be putting in for food costs, you'll be doing recipe costs, things like that. But to know how to do it is important for you. All right. So that's just a little bit with that. And I can make it all disappear just by clicking Control Z. I don't expect y'all to remember that. All right, and that's a quick and easy spreadsheet. All right, there's more to it, but I'm going to go over what else is left. All right, let's see. All right, I'm going to go back to my screen. All right, good. Oh, that was easy enough. All right, so now we're here. Now I want to get us back into learning. Okay, so learning objectives. So this week, you'll compare the contrast and effect of product storage and inventory systems. So that just means where are you going to put your product, and then how you're going to inventory it. Identify available careers and positions specific to restaurants and the hospitality industry. All right. Then this will all be on video, so you'll be able to see the actual PowerPoints I'm using. All right. So technology tools. So what's important about technology tools? Anybody?
Makes it easier to keep track of stuff.
It makes it easier to keep track of items. What else?
Allows for just more fluidity in the like point of sale systems and also for like inventory management.
I would say technology is all we use now too. Like it's very
Technology
common.
is being used everywhere, yes. But the other day I went out to lunch and they had a handheld part of the POS system. They had a handheld unit, and they were putting in the items that we were ordering as we ordered them, which I thought was great. But she did not know how to use it. So the biggest thing about technology is training. Right? Like for instance, me, I'm slow getting this all rolling. This is the first time I've done online class in a long time. So it's like riding a bicycle. Bit by bit comes back to me. But it's training. If the waitress was trained properly, she'd be able to take the order better and be able to take care of everything. But it took a while for her just to take the order for a table of two. I thought that was hilarious. I go, that's funny because I'm going into a class where I have to explain this anyways. All right, so we went over spreadsheets. So I want you guys to put together, you're going to practice a spreadsheet. I want you to put one together, take a screenshot, and send it to me. The exercise and the video are on the portal, and I'll share the screen again if I can get the video to play. All right, we talked a little bit about a POS system, the point of sales, and that's where somebody is going, that's where they have the handheld unit. And the beautiful thing about that is a chef can, in the middle of a rush, can go over to the POS system, put in their code, and get information real time. What are their sales? What's their food cost? What's their labor cost? They can get all these numbers in a split second just by going over to a touch screen, in the middle of the rush. I used to do it all the time. They can see what items are selling and which items are not. All right. Reservation systems. Now, I don't know if any of you guys have gone out to dinner lately, but when you want to go out, 90% of the time you have to make a reservation somewhere in town, and it's all automated. You no longer, you can call them up, but they'll direct you to go online. And they have different formats that, for you to use. I forget what the one is called, table something. And
Open table, probably.
The what?
Open table.
That might be it. Yeah, it sounds like. I get frustrated because as I say, I'm the Neanderthal. So me putting in a reservation is kind of funny. The first time I used it, I needed to train myself because I ended up putting it in for the wrong day. So when we went out to eat, no, we don't have your reservation. That's for tomorrow. And I was like, oh crap. So we need to train ourselves too. But the reservation systems are to help everybody, like you guys said. The automation is making our lives easy. We hope. It frustrates me because I do it wrong. All right. Like you guys said also, it's for inventory. All right. Inventory management. You can, if you use it, should be able to tell exactly what you have on a shelf just by what you are wrecking out. And what I mean by that is, but what you are utilizing in your production, you're tagging it in the system, and that way it automatically subtracts it. So when ordering comes up, it makes your life much easier because it'll say, okay, you have a half of a case left, or you have 25 pounds left. It all depends on, and usually what we want to do is run everything in pounds and ounces. We want to stay away from count as much as possible because things change. But pounds and ounces are always there. So for inventory purposes, it helps with the ordering. And that's always a good thing. All right. So spreadsheet applications like Google or Microsoft Excel, they all work the same. All right, just because it's a different recipe, the technique's the same. Well, just think of the technology. You have Google Sheets or you have Microsoft Excel, two different companies, but they all work the same way. So if you can learn how to use one, you can learn how to use the other. Right? Planning your spreadsheet. So it's just like anything else. What do you want to put in there? What do you want to have on the top? What do you want to have on the bottom? What do you want it to calculate for you? What are you trying to control or keep inventory of? So you're going to go over it a little bit again. So in creating your spreadsheet, you'll start off with a blank. Maybe that's what I should have done with you guys. We'll start off with a blank. And then from that blank sheet, I might as well do this on the screen. So I go to a blank sheet. Now, you guys can't see my screen right now, right?
Not right now, no.
All right, give me a second. Let's see if I can. All right, now you can see it.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, this is the Google spreadsheet that I just clicked on, and I clicked on it from the PowerPoint that we have. So just like I said, now here's a blank one, which hopefully is going to be easier to manipulate instead of what you were looking at earlier. So we need to put in, so I got all right, I got to keep my eye where I put things. So we already know about the rows, the columns, and the cells. All right, so this is to keep data consistent. how many people have issues reading their own writing sometimes? I do. So, which is weird because I wrote it and wow, wow, that's the neatest I wrote in a while. And then I go do something, come back, go, what the heck did I write? So this keeps it consistent, it keeps it legible. All right. It avoids excess spaces. Did you ever do any math on a sheet of paper? And you never utilize the whole sheet of paper, but you utilize 3 sheets? Well, this minimizes that because it keeps everything, in the right spaces. And then formatting is friendly. All right, so for more formatting tips. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna create, and we're gonna a little spreadsheet, and you'll do this exercise and you'll take a picture of it or a screenshot and send it. I'll explain that in a little bit. So the first thing we want to do is we want to get a, come on, get back to it. Which screen do you guys see right now?
Like an example of
All right.
the spreadsheet.
Spreadsheet.
All right, good. Well, then I got the right one going. See, I told you I'm Neanderthal. Don't worry, I will get better at this every second I'm on it. All right. So this is this sample spreadsheet. And so up here you have product category, product name, the unit and measure, and then of course over here looks like cost. So they have dairy, produce, and everybody could set theirs up a little differently. If you set up for dairy, then I go across. And I usually do it by days of the week, because we purchase, daily. And then you'll see where they have the unit and measure. So like here it says a gallon, 32.72 for, 74 for apple cider for a gallon. That's a lot. All right. But that was just so you could see that. So creating and using filters. So here's the step 1. There we go. There's step 1. So so you have our product category, the name, the measure, and then our price. Right? And this is how you set up a typical spreadsheet. Now, everybody else can set them up a little different. Select the data you want to filter. If you like to filter the whole sheet, you can do so by clicking the box in the upper left corner. That'll highlight everything. All right. Then you look over, you see this little, they highlight everything in red. So once your data is selected, click on the filter icon from the toolbar highlighted in red in the image above. And then your third step, to use your filter, click on the upside down triangle in the cell up top. See it up there? And then you click clear to deselect all the values. So if you want it, you'll highlight them, you'll select them, and then if you want to clear it, you clear it and you deselect. And then sorting. So to sort, you would highlight. So if I highlight everything on the left, right here in the number column, if I highlight that, sorry about that, and I sort A to Z, it'll put everything in alphabetical order from top to bottom, A to Z. If I sort Z to A, it'll go in reverse. I can do it by color. And I can do it by other filters if I put them in there. I can do the same if I went across the top. All right, or I could do each column individually. But to get them all at once, you highlight the first column. All right. Changing the column width and rows. So that's where you would take the mouse and you would just go up to the column here where the A finishes. You would click on that and you would just drag it to the left or to the right. And that would change the width. If you're doing it on a row, you would just drag it up or down to change the width of the row. All right. Text wrapping, that's simple. So when you have right there. All right. So say you're typing in one of the cells and you're typing in too much information that doesn't fit. So what you want to do is you want to wrap the text. And all that means is that it's going to go to the end of the cell and then start back underneath the original typing and continue, and it'll just expand the cell on its own. So all you would do is you would highlight the cell and you would click on here. You would click on here where that's the symbol for wrapping. And that would just wrap the text around so everything would fit in the cell. Automatic changing column width and row, that is the new one for me. I'll be honest. Click on a clear box directly below to select the center sheet. Place your sensor. I'm going to have to practice this one. That's my homework. And merging cells that's another simple one. So to merge, I would highlight I'd highlight 3 or 4 different cells, and then I would just click on merge. And I don't see the merge symbol, but I would click on merge, and that would expand that cell to all 3 cells. So that would become one cell now. And it just shows you different sizings that you could do. All right. Formulas. All right. I guess we're gonna teach you how to do formulas. So if you look in here, we want all those to add up this column. So what they're doing is they highlighted the last one and they're putting in the equal sign and they're taking D, which is the column up here, and then they're taking the row. So D3, which would start with beef, plus D4, which would be the second beef, and then they're clicking enter. And that will all automatically add these 2 together into that last cell. Then you could do it again just to get the dairy, then the juice, and then if you had any multiples, or if you want to just do the whole thing. All right, there are easier ways to do it. So here's an example of the easier way to do it. So if you click on give me that. Do you see that little backwards E on the top right? Right here? All right, that's the sum. So if you click on the sum, it will automatically do that for you. And then it will highlight everything on its own, or you can pick everything that you want in the parentheses. You can manipulate these very easily. Now, everything in the parentheses will be added up as one. So that would be your total of what you spent and or what it cost you. Now this is purchasing. So that'd be a total of what you spent. And then outside the parentheses, you could put something else. You could put, multiply by 10, divide by 100, or whatever other numbers you wanted to put in there. Right? I know this stuff is exciting, isn't it? All right. So here's the video walkthrough. I want you guys to just check this out. Danny? Okay. Jaden! And then August will place it here. Okay.
You online? Are you in here?
Mhm. That was a little bit more detailed of the spreadsheet. Hopefully you guys picked up on it. And the biggest thing with that is you have to practice it. You can't just say, oh, I saw the video. No, you actually have to play with a spreadsheet to actually make mistakes on it and then see how you correct them and to see how it actually works. So I'd recommend if you're going to do something like that, go and play with it. All right, that'd be your best bet. All right, let's see if I can get back to. All right. Back to share. Am I? No, I'm not. I was going to ask you guys if I'm sharing the screen. There we go. All right. So now we're looking at different types of, POS systems. And I'm sure you guys have all seen this because these are all used in restaurants today. All right. You ever see the ones that are tabletops? They have dual purposes. Some of them have games on them to entertain the kids and some adults. And then and at the same time, you can use it as a menu. You can use it to pay your bill. So it's multi-purpose. More companies are going with this. The more stuff they put on this, the more convenience it is for them. All right, the touch screens, that's what a lot of people, were used to in the beginning, because that's the original. And if you notice, what do you see here and here?
Cards,
What?
like chips, cards.
All right, but what's the difference between these two and this one?
Customer uses the first two, or front of house uses the
All right, that's one, and what's another one?
You don't have to touch the reader. You can just tap your card, which is the touch screen you have to touch to use.
All right, there's another. And what about size? Convenience. So that's tabletop, handheld. Pretty soon, who knows? Next thing is going to be smaller than your phone. So as everything advances, it gets a little smaller. All right. And there's probably this one. There's a restaurant. It used to be in MIT. Is it MIT or it's one of those tech colleges? But what happened was a bunch of engineers got together and created a restaurant. And it was an automated restaurant. And this is what their system was like. You would go up and you would punch in everything you wanted. And then you'd go up and watch your food made. But it was all made automatically it was a robotic kitchen. but they weren't robot arms like you're thinking. All right, I forgot the name of the restaurant, but they did so well. They sold it as a franchise, and they could have retired after that. But this is what their original screen was like. And then what you would do is you'd go over and you'd wait for your food to be done, but you could actually look up on the screen and see where your food was, how it was being prepared, and about how long it would be till it's ready. So they had a bunch of different, conveniences for you. And it actually, now, when you go out to eat, you guys, what do you see behind my head? Pictures, is crap on the wall, right? That's what a lot of restaurants do to keep your eyes busy so you're not worrying about how long your food's coming. And that's what this does with technology. Because you'd get over onto the cook line and watch your food being made, but you're watching the screen up top. So you're actually watching, okay, the ingredients, the list of ingredients, how they're being put into with each other. And I mean, you can visually see the food being made, but you can also read where you are. So it keeps you busy while you're waiting for your food. Because the biggest problem with a lot of restaurants is getting the food out on time. And what happens when people get antsy? They start looking around, they're looking for the wait staff. They want their food. That's what they went out for. They went out to eat. So that's what these things are. These distractions are there to help them and help us. All right, so that's a little bit of POS. All right, comes out quicker. And I actually like it in the restaurant. All right, now because of the speed, we actually get customer retention. And the interaction also helps with that. The payment, it's secure, it's instant. I mean, so everything is, benefiting everybody, not just you, not just me. All right, and then beautiful thing is the sales analysis. Like I said earlier, you can get to the second reports. I mean, it was funny because I would go and look at a report and my cooks would want to know where we were sitting. And I would tell them, okay, we're at this number, we still got 15 minutes to go and then to complete the hour. Because they want to know if they're beating the last hour in business. And the best we ever did was $17,000 in 1 hour food and beverage. A lot of restaurants don't even do that in a day. But we did it in an hour. And that's what our fun time was like. All right. Then they're gonna have cloud-based versus server-based. All right. So on the cloud-based, relatively low cost to set them up, always accessible from wherever you are, so you can always check it out. Highly scalable, easy to carry around. Of course, it's on your phone. All right. Backs up data. Bucks up. I need new glasses. Easy to integrate with other business apps. All right, on premises, it's expensive because you got to buy all the hardware and units. Comprehensive, extensive, not easily flexible or scalable, not easily portable. That's why it's on premise. And it's not relying on internet. All right, risk of losing data. So the clouds, a lot of people are going towards the cloud because they don't have to manage it. All right. So when you're figuring out which POS you need, You're gonna say, what features do you need? Do I want to save money up front or monthly cost? What hardware do I need? So what units would fit your facility? Does it integrate well with the existing business apps? Is the pricing transparent? Every now and then, all of a sudden, another cost. Is it easy to set up and use? How good is the customer service? And is it simple to scale up as your business grows? All right. Let's see what I can get in 3 minutes. In careers, if we don't get everything in on Thursday, we'll finish the rest. Charting your course for culinary exploration. So what jobs are out there? What do you think is out there? What are you all here for? How many people want to own? How many people want to manage? How many people just want to be a darn cook? You know, what do we, what do we want to do? So we're going to leave it there, and we're going to pick this up, when we, on Thursday, we'll finish up careers, and then we'll go into our discussions. All right, guys, y'all have a good one, and I will see you all later.